Another installment of College Planning Untangled. Bobby, how are you today?
Just great. Excited to talk about senior year stuff.
Yes. So I've had a couple of these, and I will tell you, seniors in high school will test every single one of your nerves and push every one of the buttons that you have. It's just what they do, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I know, Bobby, with you working with a lot of kids at this age doing your SAT and ACT coaching, that we get to see the good side of them, right? The enjoyable, they're kind to us, and their parents are like, really?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's one of the funny things that, like, if a parent tells a student something, then they will object and argue. But if a third party tells them something, they get some kind of third party credibility, and then they think it makes sense. So I do tell that to parents. I'm like, if there's something you want me to communicate to your kid, tell me, and maybe they'll listen to me, and I can take some of that stress off of you.
Yes, yeah, I do the same thing, and I'm talking to them about a stressful subject, as are you, which, for me, it's helping them figure out a career path. So when they go to college, they've got the right major, they're going to the right college, all of those good things that go along with it. So it's an emotional subject, but it's just one of the emotional subjects that they're going through right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many different things going on all at the same time.
Right, it is. And I will also tell you, as a parent that's gone through it a couple times, it's also God's plan to, have them just do these things they do so that when they're ready to go off to college, you're really ready to just push them right out the door.
Right.
Still miss them, but you're ready for them to go. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So one of the things that, if you can remember this as a parent, during this senior year, there's an acronym. It's L.O.V.E, because we know we love them dearly, but sometimes we need reminders on how to handle that during this time frame.
Right.
Yeah. So the first one is listen. All right. There are so many things happening at once during this time frame. Your kiddo knows that this is the last time that they're going to have football games at high school, and the last time they're going to do this, the last time they're going to be in the play, the last time they're going to be the cheerleader, the last time they're going to go to the math competition. All those things are happening. They are super excited to go to college. They're afraid to go to college. You name it, they are running the gamut of all these emotions. And in the meantime, they're trying to push away from you and do it all on their own because
right.
they're biologically built to do that, right? So as a parent, if you can just think about just listening when your child is ready to come to you on something, and just open up to, really hearing what they're telling you when they're coming to you during this time frame.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's, I think, so easy with schedules being so complicated senior year that you would get into a pattern of doing nothing but just talking about schedule and assignments and obligations and never actually talking about anything. You just may not have any time to. And so you've got to remember to stop it. Just, like they may be trying to say something, but you're so focused on, obligations that you can miss out.
Right. And checking the box and getting stuff done and, all those things that go along with it. And I think the other thing is, you and I have talked about, this is that time that you need to move into consultant mode and quit managing your kid's life. It's really your job to be there and to answer questions when they have them, and let them start making some of these decisions that they're going to have to be making when they go off to college. So let them practice now, so just listen for those times that they're willing to talk.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's got to be the most important thing. I'm glad that's first on the list.
I am too, and it worked out perfectly because it works with love, right?
Right.
The second one is observe. So how I look at that is watching and observing what's happening with your kiddo, watching for those verbal or nonverbal cues. Are they happy? Are they looking stressed? Are they, getting frustrated? And also watching and for their strengths, the things that they do well, that they may not even be recognizing that they do well. because when they go off to college, their confidence is going to take a little bit of a hit because they're walking
Right.
in a situation that they're not used to, right? So the more at this point in their life that we can kind of build that confidence that you do have things to share with the world, you are really good at certain things, I think it goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also, like, I've had lots of students over the years that, like, are super stressed but don't know that they're stressed. I guess once you've lived with a lack of sleep and lots of stress for a long time, you sort of adapt to it. And so observing might also be just noticing, when your kid's spread too thin or, just needs a break or whatever, because they're not necessarily going to say that. They're going to try to do everything in the world. And at some point, they're going to, like just have so many obligations that at some point they're going to not be able to take care of everything all at once. And you've got to help catch when that's happening.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point. It's like letting them know that it's okay to take a break because now more than any time, we know that the world's moving fast, 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 and these kids have been brought up in a time that it's always been fast, fast, fast.
Yeah.
So how, yes, I love that observing and seeing when might be the time to go, you need to just step back for a minute.
You're right.
That sounds good. All right, V. So V is for vocalizing. And, as much as I say, be a consultant, I still stand by that 100%. When I think about vocalizing, I think about really sharing with them what you are observing. So like you had said, if we see that they're needing to slow down, vocalize that and tell them why you're thinking that. For the strength side, which, is one of my favorite topics, when you're seeing them do something they've done right, they've done well, vocalizing that and actually saying it out loud. And I go back to really helping them with this confidence piece and promoting what they're good at. And I'm not just saying you're great at being the football quarterback. You're not great at, you've got great math scores. It's those other things in life, like, wow, you treated that person really well. You're always really good at that. And I appreciate that. Or, though I never would have had that idea. Thank you for telling me that idea because that solved a big problem for me. So it's those types of daily things, Bobby. And it does go back to the strengths talk, the Clifton Strengths program. But because those are those things that they do without thinking, and they don't think that anybody else
notices or cares, right?
Yeah.
And I think, it's so stereotypical traditional thing, but like, you're so focused on, and I mean just living together with anybody, in a family, you're so focused on all these millions of things involved in family and work and school and all these things that it's so easy to just always be criticizing things that are wrong and forgetting to actually say when things are right, and so, that stopping and thinking, okay, am I saying things out loud because your kid may not know how proud you are of them or whatever, and saying that is a big part of it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the fact that in a family dynamic, we rely on the other people to do certain things just because they do it well and they do it so effortlessly, right? That I think during this time frame, if you are observing those things that they do well and then vocalizing those and, really realizing that you're going to miss the stuff that they do for the family, that's another way to look at it or another area, I guess, to explore to help you start to realize those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then for E, the E in love is encourage. There's a quote by, I think it was Maya Angelou, that said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget the way you feel, or the way they made you feel. And I really think that encouraging our kiddos to try new things, to really look at who they are as a person, and to bring those to light and, love on them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, ties into the previous thing too, which is rather than just criticizing anything that you don't like about your kid's behavior, or, things that you felt like they didn't do exactly right. Encouraging the things that are good, right? And encouraging more behavior like that, and that sort of thing. It's just very simple, but uh, it's just reminding yourself to all four of these things, reminding yourself to just pause and step back and realize that as complicated and exhausting as senior year is, right there, you can step back and relax it at some points, and you need to.
And really look for the things that are important, because we all
Right.
get caught up in it. We always
Exactly. Don't get caught in the details. Yeah.
yeah, and we always talk about the swirl that happens during this time frame, and for
Oh
you
man.
yourself to kind of stop yourself and just sit back and go, hold on,
Mhm.
let's think about what the important stuff is and
Yeah.
help these kiddos that we're trying to launch understand that they're really cool and they have a lot to share with everybody. And
Right.
you realize it. And I can tell you, it never happens enough. Doesn't happen enough in my family either. So this message is for me as well, to
Mhm.
even at the ages my kids are at 23 and 21, just to really, honor who those people, who they are. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah, it's a great message for right now, as applications are going in, and halfway through senior year, exams coming up, holidays coming up. It's a good time to stop and just reflect on this last year, that you're going
That you're walking
to have
into.
before they graduate. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Last half of the year is when it gets tough. And really, this, Bobby, that just from the clients that we work with and stuff, this spring semester and summer is when you're going to really have to practice this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to
Right.
be tough. So, all right.
For sure.
Well, good.
Oh,
Guys,
this is great.
yeah, and if anybody has questions for Bobby and I, we went a little bit off, talking about something a little bit different than what we normally do, but I think it's an important message today. But if you have questions about SAT, ACT tutoring, please talk to Bobby. If you've got questions about helping your kiddo figure out their career path, give me a call. We are here to help, and we just want to help you make this college planning process simpler.
Absolutely.